All right, we're playing some more Blitz today against another master. This is Blake from chesspathways.com, and looks like we're going to get a Sicilian to fit. So let's see how this goes. Knight c3, and are we going to get a dragon, a Najdorf, or something else? Okay, we're going to get a Najdorf, and I'm going to play the English attack with f3. I have a video out there on YouTube called, I think it's How to Memorize 25 Moves of a Chess Opening. And if you search that on YouTube, you'll find my video where I cover this line pretty in-depth. Another one called The Branches of the Tree, where I do as well. So far, this is all theory, the same we've covered in that video. And now, a quick d5. That is not theory, I do not believe. So why does black not usually play this? So, okay, we take. Takes. And I guess the problem is, if you take with the queen, we just take and castle long. And if you take with the bishop, I'm wondering if you have c4. Yeah, I know this is a line, but I think the problem for black is, even though they blew open the center, which is usually good for them in the Sicilian, white's going to get the bishop pair here. I don't think black has a way to maintain the pair of bishops. Knight c5 could be an idea if bishop e6, for example. I guess you could drop back to c8 to defend your pawn, but it looks very passive. So even though black succeeded in turning their 2-on-1 central pawn majority into having the lone pawn in the center, they have to give up the bishop pair to do so. And now they're going to have trouble, I believe, contesting the open file. I know the first time I saw this line in a tournament, I think it was a 2270 player who played this against me back when I was an expert, and I was better most of the game and comfortably made a draw. So that's why no one plays this particular line with black, I don't think. So kind of curious how this is going to go. We have two strong bishops, and I think I'll just quickly play rook he1, and looks much better for white. If you castle, maybe even here rook d7. You have to watch out for that. Maybe you want bishop d8, but I don't have to trade bishops. Maybe there I play probably bishop c5 or bishop e3. Yeah, no reason to exchange. Let's say bishop f2 so I can come to g3 if I need to. Rook he1, bishop g3, f4. If you castle, then rook d7. Yeah, looks much better for white. The two bishops are very strong. Okay, bishop c7. All my pieces are in the game. And maybe you can castle, but you have to watch out for rook d7. You can probably defend there. Okay, you can trade a set of rooks if you want to. Now can I just try to play f4, though, and blow the center wide open before you get castled? Maybe you're going to take with the king. That could be your idea. But then f7 falls. Okay, so if nothing else, I win a pawn. Bishop f7. And I don't think you have enough compensation there. You can't play rook f8 because I have my pawn on f3 already. I mean, you can, but it doesn't do anything. And I have an extra pawn, and I still have the pair of bishops. Bishop c5 could come as well. Okay. Kind of like bishop c5 just for the optics of it. Although then just bishop d6 probably. And again, I don't have to exchange. No real need to. Play bishop b6 there. Okay. So what now? Now is when they say the rest is a matter of technique, but it's never clear exactly what that means. Maybe rook e4? Although I kind of like having the bishop have the option to use that square if I want to. I might even come there right away and force you to commit where your pawns are going to be. Like if you play h6, you always have to worry about bishop f5 check, bishop g6. Yeah, so g6 makes sense, but now your pawns are committed. I could even think about like h4, h5, rook h1 ideas. Let's play c3, take away more squares. No rush at all. You also have the only isolated pawn on the board, so this just seems strategically completely winning for white. Two bishops, extra pawn, weakness on e5. And I've got plenty of time, too. That's a first. Okay, I don't think that's a problem. King c2 when you have nothing. If you play bishop d6, I still don't trade, I think. I probably just play my bishop back to f2. And I do have a queenside pawn majority, but it is crippled, isn't it? So I'll probably want to push it at some point, but I think for now I'll just play my bishop back to f2. And I can still think about targeting this pawn. I could play bishop d5, bishop g3, think about using the pins. That's nothing, I don't think. There's nothing on the d file. So I'll just play, let's gain a tempo, why not? Think about bishop f6, think about bishop g3, force your rook to go somewhere. Okay. Well, now I can play this with tempo, I think. Bishop g3. Okay. Oh, I see what you're trying to do. Okay, you want to pressure that pawn, but I think here I just play like that. And now I'm not sure how you can defend everything. e5 is under attack, the knight's under attack. You don't have any checks that do anything, I don't think. And if you move the knight, then e5 falls. Great illustration here of the two bishops' power. The two bishops are really nice here. And I think resigning would make sense here for black. I don't really see an answer. I'm sure he's considering it. Okay, well there's another pawn. Now I have two pawns and I still have the pair of bishops. Okay. Can I still put off trading? I probably can if I want to. There's just no real need to anymore, so I'll just play... I'll exchange now. I have two extra pawns, that's plenty. Bishop e4, maybe. I'm not sure what the most efficient win is here. G4 I don't really love because you can maybe go after my pawn. Probably not, but it's just something to worry about. So I think maybe... What if I just play f4? You have nothing, I don't think. So f4... Yeah, let's just get on the opposite color as my bishop and start pushing my 3-on-2 healthy majority there on the king side. I do have to watch the clock a little bit. I also have to watch out for some of your knight's entry points. The knights can be tricky, especially in blitz. So play bishop e4. Still have nothing. And maybe think about playing g4 in the near future, if I'm allowed to. I'd also like to swap rooks if I'm allowed to as well. That would be nice for me. Even the rook in game should be winning for me as well. Okay, so now can I play g4? I guess I have to worry about some of your ideas, but I don't think they do anything. Rook e6, for example, let's just... well, there's no threat. There's no threat at all, but let's just play here just in case, so we can always break the pin if we have to, with like bishop f3. Then I can march the king in, and I can still meet h5 with h3 if I have to. Maybe I can even push this pawn as well. Probably no real need to. Then you have knight e6, thinking about knight d4. Let's just, let's think about swapping rooks and then marching the king in. That works. I don't love being pinned, though. It's kind of annoying. I think I missed something. I think knight f6 might have been a good answer for you, but I'm just trying to organize something here where I can, okay, give check, get out of the pins. This is definitely not perfect technique. Okay, now if you take, I'm happy. If you don't, I play here and win this guy. I guess you have knight d6, though. So I don't win that guy. But now I have this. And I think this finally wins, unless you have an in-between move. But I play g5, and you can't defend your knight. Yep, check. Aha, but you have this. And I have to play kind of fast here, don't I? So I'll play bishop e4. You can win your piece back if you want it, but then it's a winning king and pawn endgame. Yep. And I have a winning 2-on-1 majority. That'll restrain your king. And that means I have time to march over and win your pawns. Okay, then I just make a pass pawn. And win your pawns. And I'm plenty fast enough. Okay. And a win. Okay, so I think that was kind of sloppy technique. I made that look a lot harder than it should have been, but I don't care too much about that because it's a blitz game, so, you know, that just happens. I'm more interested in looking earlier in the game because I feel like after d5, white's just, like, better the whole game. Black never really was in this. They were just, you know, slightly worse out of the opening, then a little bit more worse, and then I just had a winning strategic position. And I knew this line. I knew that d5 here does not work. and that's why no one plays it. Because if this works, this is very desirable for black, right? That's one of black's whole ideas in the Sicilian to turn this 2-on-1 central pawn majority that white granted them by exchanging pawns on move 3, right? That's why black's willing to play this line in the Sicilian, to exchange off their flank pawn for white's center pawn. In exchange for giving white this lead in development, black gets this 2-on-1 in the center. But you can't just play d5 at the first opportunity here. That's kind of the most ambitious try to refute this early f3 idea. But I knew here it doesn't work. You just take, and like I said, if bishop takes, I think c4 is the answer. I'm kind of curious to check that, if this has ever been played. Yeah, very rarely been played in master level chess. c4 is the right move. And again, you just exchange queens, castle long, looks very good for white. Even though black has the pawn in the center. And if queen takes, then you just swap, castle long. Like I said, I've only had this position once in a tournament against a pretty good master, 2270, 2280 something. And that was back when I was only 2000 something, and I very easily drew that game. I was better most of the way. I'm kind of curious how often this has been reached in master level chess. Yeah, once again, not often. Bishop c6 is a try, I guess. Bishop takes b3 is the most popular. That's what he played. I'm kind of curious what you do on bishop c6. Oh yeah, just knight a5 looks pretty ugly for black. But yeah, in the game, bishop takes b3, a takes, knight c6. I control the d file, you try to untangle, and you don't have to exchange. I know a lot of players would just exchange because they don't want to lose time. But there's no need. You have the pair of bishops. Why give the rook, access to the file? Just keep black all tangled up. And then I just slowly got all my pieces in the game, went after the, now black just blundered a pawn. But it's hard to see how else black could play in this position, really. Like I said, I thought black could maybe try to castle here, and try to hold on in a position like this. It just looks pretty ugly. But certainly I feel like white has to be much better, especially because you can't really contest the file at all. You can't contest with this rook because of the bishop, you can't contest with this rook because of the f7 pawn. Maybe you could try some idea with knight a5 followed by contesting, but I think I just have bishop d5 there. You can't really go after the bishop. So white's just much, much better positionally. The two bishops are very strong. So that guy was a master, and I felt like he was never really in the game. Just another good example of a really deep opening preparation paying off. And if you want me to help you get opening preparation like this, please click that link down in the description. You can book a call with me. I can tell you about my coaching program called Elite Openings Workshop, where I work with players over the course of many months to help them design, build, and then iterate upon a master-level opening repertoire. So if you're interested in that, click that link. If not, please make sure you visit chesspathways.com and get signed up there. That's totally free, and I will send you a free move-by-move guide to chess thinking when you sign up. Thanks, and I will talk to you all soon.